Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today this is what we are going to be talking about. There's a reason no villain in Gotham will ever try to take off Batman's mask, and one comic finally explains why they don't even want to know who he really is. This is the story of a two-bit thief named Teddy, who found out anyway, and what that secret ended up costing him. Months before this story begins, Teddy Critchley was one of Catwoman's trained cat burglars, part of a league of thieves she built during the Gotham War to rob only the ultra-rich. When that war collapsed and Vandal Savage seized most of her crew, Teddy stayed loyal to Selina and kept hitting targets on her behalf. One of those targets was a brownstone in Fort Gray that Bruce Wayne had quietly moved into after losing Wayne Manor. Teddy broke in expecting jewelry and cash, but what he found instead was a hidden bat cache built into the walls. Bat suits, bat gear proof. And in that single moment, Teddy whispered the four words that would make him the most dangerous man in Gotham. Bruce Wayne is Batman. Talk about stumbling into the wrong closet, right? He sat on that secret for months, too scared to do anything with it, until one night he finally walked into his local bar called Flanagan's and told the bartender what he'd found. Flanagan pours him a drink and warns him to forget the whole thing, because just a few nights earlier, Batman had been knocked down and left unconscious on the street right outside this bar. A few patrons decided to have some fun and try to pull off his mask, only to watch Batman wake up. And what rose up off that pavement wasn't a man in a costume anymore. It was something that looked like a demon crawling out of hell. Yeah, I'm so glad I wasn't that guy. So, Flanagan tells Teddy to walk away if he wants his bones to stay in one piece. Except, Teddy needs the money badly. And when another man at the bar named Percy overhears and says he knows people who'd pay big for that information, the two of them start drinking and planning their payday while Flanagan shakes his head and walks away. The next morning, Teddy wakes up hungover at his ex-wife Kim's apartment, having apparently pounded on her door drunk the night before. When he asks where their son Udo is, Kim tells him something that breaks him. Udo moved out. He didn't even say goodbye. He didn't even want his father to know where he was going. Teddy tries to self-pity his way through it, but Kim cuts him off. She tells him he always has something big coming, always has a chip on his shoulder, never actually takes a real job, never actually shows up for anyone. She never wanted his money. She just wanted him to be there. Teddy storms out, swearing this is his last job and that he's finally about to fix everything. Spoiler alert, it usually doesn't work out that easily. Percy takes him to meet their first buyer, and when the door opens, it's Two-Face. Harvey dismisses everyone from the room except Teddy, so Teddy braces himself for the negotiation. Except Two-Face doesn't want to buy the information. He already knows it. He's known for a long time, and what he tells Teddy next changes everything. Two-Face explains that he sees every fight with Batman as a battle between four people, not two: Harvey Dent, Two-Face, Bruce Wayne, Batman. Two men, four souls, locked in a careful balance that keeps Gotham from tipping into something far worse than any of them. If anyone ever destroyed Bruce Wayne, if they shattered the double life that holds Batman in check, what would remain wouldn't be a hero anymore. It would be a monster. A pure bat would destroy us all. The fun would be gone. He'd be relentless. A monster feeding off anyone who dared step over his line. Two-Face warns Teddy to leave and never speak of this again. Honestly, when Two-Face is the one making the most sense, you know you really messed up. And strangely, this time, Harvey doesn't even flip his coin. The good half wins on its own. When they both went outside, the Batman was on top watching them. Teddy felt like, this is his end. But Percy tells Teddy that he is looking for bigger players and we are nothing for him, and tells him to move quickly from here to the next buyer. He and Percy keep shopping the secret. And they visit Addison and Aiden Cobblepot, the Penguin's children who now run the Iceberg Lounge and their father's entire empire. Addison offers Teddy $1 million on the spot, but asks him to wait while they handle some nearby business. And while they're gone, the Cobblepot's personal bodyguard walks into the room, and it turns out he's an old friend of Teddy's, which is why he's the one who breaks the news. The Cobblepots aren't going to pay $1 million. They're going to kill Teddy the second they come back and keep Batman's identity for themselves. The bodyguard makes a phone call, and before Teddy can escape, a crew of smaller villains crashes in, knocks him out, and takes him. When Teddy wakes up, he's surrounded by a completely different group. Low-level henchmen, a woman who seems to be running things. They give him tea, they explain what's happening. Word has spread across the city. Every villain in Gotham is hunting him now. But this group doesn't want to kill him. When Teddy panics and asks what happens if Batman kills him anyway, the woman calms him down, and in a brief flashback, we learn why she's so confident. Years ago, she herself was saved by Batman. She knows what he is underneath the costume. They figured out something clever. They're planning a bank robbery and they believe that if Teddy is physically with them during the heist, Batman can't intervene because arresting Teddy means risking him trading Batman's identity for a plea deal. They've found the Dark Knight's kryptonite. So she promises Teddy that tomorrow, for the first time in years, Batman won't be coming. They hit the bank. The plan is perfect, except Batman shows up anyway. Teddy runs and hides behind a counter, whispering prayers under his breath, until he looks up and Batman is already standing over him, so silent he didn't even hear him approach. And then, everything goes black. Note to self, do not try to outsmart Batman. When Teddy wakes up, he's not in a warehouse. He's not in a cell. He's in his son's apartment. Yudo walks in and immediately starts unloading years of buried pain. He tells his father what it was actually like to watch him stumble home drunk and beaten, night after night, year after year. He tells him that despite everything, Yudo still wanted to be like him. He even tried to become a criminal himself. He took jobs. He ran with the wrong people, until one night when he was working for Scarecrow and a job went sideways and Scarecrow released his fear gas without warning, poisoning everyone in the room. Yudo was certain he was about to die. That's when Batman appeared through the fog. And instead of beating him unconscious, instead of dragging him to jail, Batman knelt down and calmed him. Batman knew his name. He knew whose son he was. He'd been watching the family for a long time. Which is a little creepy, but we will definitely take it. So Yudo told him everything, where his life was heading, what he secretly wanted it to become, and Batman just listened. Nobody had ever listened to him before. Then Batman made him an offer that no villain in Gotham would have ever expected, a scholarship. Bruce Wayne would personally pay for his education, would fund his way into business school, would give him a real future away from all of this. And all Batman asked in return was one thing: be better. Teddy walks out of his son's room with tears in his eyes, and standing there waiting for him is Bruce Wayne. Not Batman, just Bruce. Teddy asks if he has to leave the city, and Bruce tells him yes, but not in the way Teddy is picturing. Bruce has already arranged a job for him in Metropolis, a place to stay, a fresh start somewhere no villain in Gotham can ever reach him. They talk about Yudo, they talk about Kim. They talk about the good that Bruce believes is still left in Teddy's heart, if he's finally willing to start looking for it. In the final pages, Teddy sits on a bus leaving Gotham for the first time in his life. He looks out the window and sees the bat signal lighting up the clouds one last time, and Bruce's voice echoes softly in his head with a single promise, that when Teddy is ready to come back someday, Batman will be there to help him, because this was never really a story about a thief who discovered Batman's identity. It was a story about a man who finally discovered his own. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know down in the comments what you think Teddy is going to do next. I will catch you guys in the next one.